Okay, please prepare your exercise number 8, ano? Saglit lang, ha? Saglit lang, class. I will inform the other sections about the class. Uh, Ayan, no? Okay. Siguro we should start. Um, about the deliberation, no, for your third quarter grades. It will be happening tomorrow. Tapos sa section nyo pa lang ako natatapos sa grades. You can do your performance task until the day na mention ko dun sa ating GC. Okay? Balikan ninyo yung presentation about the announcement of the performance task. Please, kompletuhin ninyo because if the day comes na finalize na yung grade at kailangang i-finalize dahil we have to submit, your grade in performance task will be marked 60. And I don't know if aabot yon para maipasa ninyo yung statistics and probability. Okay? And I suggest gawin nyo na because you will just be loading yourselves with a lot of work by the time that we go back to school after the May break. Kasi break tayo ng May 2 to 13, no? Tama? May 2 to 13, wala tayong klase. Even module, hindi namin kayo mabibigyan. Even module. Kaya, dapat kompletohin ninyo. And then also, next week, I will not be giving you any task in the Google Classroom. I will give you that week to complete all the requirements. Kahit na hindi humabot sa deliberation yung inyong grades, kung maihahabol naman ninyo until next week, ay baka hindi rin umabot. No? Pero I will just inform you kung magbabago yung grade ninyo. So you can tell your parents. Tama? Kasi yung card, kung kukunin ninyo, baka blanco yung stat because walang grade. Okay? So katulad niyan, kukonti tayo sa online class. And the others, they are not watching the checking. Kaya hindi nila nadidinig yung mga announcements. Alright, let us start checking. Are you ready? Nakikita ba yung yung Word document as presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So let us check na. This is probabilities and percentiles or percentages. Application of the regions under the normal curve. So in this exercises, we will also be needing the Z distribution table, no? Saglit lang, kuhanin ko lang yung aking Z distribution table. So, ko ba yung nilagay? So, dapat pala ang nakapresent sa akin ay screen because I will be toggling from the Z table to ayan. Nasa na yung Word document. Yan. Okay? So let us answer number 1. According to the jeepney driver blog at ano to? jeepneydriver.php, a jeepney driver earns an average of 500 pesos a day. Assume that the variable is approximately normally distributed and the standard deviation is 75 pesos. Find the probability that a driver selected at random earns 550 pesos and 700 pesos a day. So, dalawa to, no? Let us get the given information. Okay. So, the mean is given as 500 pesos a day. Okay. Mean is 500 pesos a day. Alright. What else? The standard deviation is 75. Okay. So for letter A, we are getting the probability that a driver earns 550 pesos. Or we say, wait lang, let's write it as a probability. So if X is the uh, income of a jeepney driver, then we're looking for the probability that X is equal to 550. And letter B, we're looking for the probability that X is equal to 700. Right? Let's solve letter A. We're using the formula. To get the probability, we'll use the uh, standard normal distribution table, and we need to get the value for Z. From the previous lesson, ang ating formula for Z is X minus mean over the population standard deviation. Alright, so let's solve letter A. The probability that a jeepney driver selected at random earns between 550 and 700 pesos a day. Oh, na-blanko ako. Mali pala yung ating required. Hindi pala ito dalawa, no? But actually, we'll be getting the value for each. Dapat pala, ang ating hinahanap is that, wait lang, rewrite ko lang, no? Tagal na pala nitong exercise na ito. Nakalimutan ko na tuloy yung required natin. We're looking for the probability. If X is the income of the jeepney driver, we're solving for X is greater than 550 but less than 700. Yun. So if we're going to present this in a curve, drawing tayo ng curve. Yan. If the mean is 500, then we're looking for the probability that the driver selected at random earns 550 between 550 and 700 pesos. So, ito yung hinahanap nating probability. Huh? That's 550 and 700. Okay? Let us solve for C sub 1, where X sub 1 is 550. So, C sub 1 is equal to 550 minus 500, and that is divided by the standard deviation, 75. So we have Z sub 1 is equal to 50 over 75. What is this value? No? Wait lang. Wala pala akong calculator sa aking tabi. Do you have your answer or do you have your calculator? What is the answer here? Yes? May nagtaas ng kamay. May nagtaas ba ng kamay? Jason? Yes, Sir Wendy, what is your answer?
2.67 po.
2.67. Now for Z sub 2, we have 700 minus 500 over 75. So this is
Ay,
2,
sir.
yes,
Sir, 0.67 po pala sa
yeah,
Z1.
yeah, thank you. That is 0.67. How about this one? 200 over 75. So ito yung ano, ito yung 2.67 or Wendy. Tama ba? Okay. 2.67. Now, translated into the standard normal distribution curve, no? At x equals 500, this is where z is equal to 0. At x is equal to 550, this is where z sub 1 is equal to 0.67. And at x is equal to 700, this is where z sub 2 is equal to 2.67. So from the previous lesson, regions under the normal curve, if we are to get the area between 0.67 and 2.67, so the probability, okay, kunin natin, the probability that the driver earns between 550 and 700 is the area under the normal curve between 0.67 and 2.67. Okay, let us look at the table. So we have 2.67, kunin natin yan, positive values. 2.6, kita ba yung table, class?
Yes po.
2.67 is 0.9962, na? 0.9962 minus. How about 0.67? 0.67, that is 0.7486. 0.7486. And then we subtract this. What is the answer? Can you subtract? Anyone who has an answer? Yes, Shanli?
0.2476 po.
2476. Okay. So, therefore, the probability, copying ko na lang to. Uh, so, our final answer will be the probability that a driver selected at random earns between 550 and 700 pesos a day is 0.2476 or 24.76%. You give it in decimal, you give it in percentage, that will do. That is accepted. Any question for number one? Check your work. Hello. Do you have any question?
None po.
None. Okay, let's proceed to number two. An online-based research conducted a survey on the average income of working individuals in Caloocan City. Results shows that the average annual income of an individual in the city is 225,350 pesos. Excuse me. Excuse me. Assume that the variable is approximately normally distributed and that the standard deviation is 45,168 pesos. Find the probability that a working individual from the city selected at random is earning more than 300,000 pesos annually. Who has an answer here? Can you give me your final answer and then we will check and then we will answer? Let's see. Yes? Or Wendy, what is your answer?
Sir, ano po? 4.95%.
4.95%. Wait lang ah. So let's see if or when this answer is correct. Na? Let us get the given information. The population mean is 225,350. Alright? The standard deviation is 45,168. And we're looking for the probability that a working individual earns more than 300,000 annually. Paano natin sulat yan? We're looking for the probability that X is greater than 300,000 pesos. Okay, let us begin by solving for the value of Z. That will be 300,000 minus 225,350 divided by the standard deviation, 45,168. Who has an answer here? Yes? San Diego? Shanley? Shanley nga ba yun? Yeah. What is your answer here?
1.65 po.
Again?
1.65.
1.65. All right. So, if we are going to draw the curve, no? If we're going to draw the curve, the mean is 225,350. This is where Z is equal to 0. 300,000 is greater than 225,350. So it must be to the right. And the Z value is 1.65. So between 1 and 2, a little closer to 2. No? Ito yung ating uh, I'm sorry, yung 300 pala. 300 is greater, yeah, tama. So the Z value here is 1.65. But we're looking for the probability that the individual earns more than 300,000. So the area that we're looking for here is to the right of Z is equal to 1.65. So the probability C is greater than 1.65 will be obtained by subtracting the area to the left of 1.65 from 1. Tingnan natin yung 1.65. Doon tayo sa positive values. 1.6 and then 5. 0.9505. Tama? 0.9505. 0.9505. And 1 minus 0.9505 is 0.0495. Tama ba ako? O, tama. So, or when this answer is correct, na? Tignan natin. Sulat natin yung final answer for number 2. Bakit walang home yung aking keyboard? So, the probability that a working individual from the city selected at random is earning more than 300,000 pesos annually is 4.95%. Okay? Or when this answer is correct, and that is very good. Number 3. Medyo mahaba yung number 3, no? Tatlo to. Based on studies and records, the average waste generation rate per day in Caloocan City is 500 grams per person. So that's the average, no? Pag nag-generate ng basura per person is 500 grams per day. Assume that the variable is approximately normally distributed and that the standard deviation is 40 grams. If a person from Caloocan City is selected at random, find the probability of him or her generating letter A less than 200 grams of waste a day. Solve natin yung letter A. So, kunin muna natin, ano? Mean is 500. Standard deviation is 40. For letter A, X is 200. Na? Solve natin. For letter A, Z is equal to 200 minus 500 over 40. This is negative 300. Tama ba? Over 40. And Z is equal to, what is this? Negative ano to? Negative 7.5?
Yes po.
Negative 7.5. Okay. Less than 200 grams per day. So negative 7.5. Then the probability that the person generates less than 200, let us look to the left naman to, na? Less than, to the left titignan natin. Now, if you look at the table, it's only up to negative 3.4, correct? But there is a note dun sa ibaba. For values less than, nakikita nyo ba? Kahit na maliit lang. For values less than negative 3.49, we have 0.0001. Tatlong zero, no? So that is 0.001. Who was able to do this? Meron ba? Nakita ninyo yung nasa ibaba? Anyone? Hindi ba nagka-problema sa pag-solve nito? Hello? Or Wendy, were you able to solve this number?
No po, sir.
Hindi mo nakita yung nakasulat sa baba?
No po.
Okay. So, tinanong ko lang para mabigyan natin ng emphasis, no? Merong note dun sa ibaba. Okay. So, that is 0.001. Then, for letter A, that is 0.01%. Punta tayo sa letter B. Split natin yung screen, nawawala yung problem. Yan. Doon tayo sa letter B. Between 300 and 550 grams. Okay. So, we have X is greater than 300 but less than 550. So, again, we will be using two Z values. Z sub 1 is 300 minus 500 over 40. Ilan to? Negative 200 over 40. This is negative 5, correct? And then
Yes po.
C sub 2 is 550 minus 500 over 40. That is 50 over 40. Ilan to? 1.25.
25.
1.25. Okay. So, if we're going to draw the curve, sa number 1, di na natin dinraw yung curve. Napakaliit nung kanyang probability. But then again, dito sulat natin. If mean is at z equals 0, then we have 1.25. So, nandito yan, 1.25. And then, negative 5, very close na dun yan, na? Very close na dun. So, ito yung hinahanap nating area, and that is also the probability. Okay? And we know, this is again less than negative 3.49. So, that is also 0.0001. Okay? So, P between negative 5 and 1.25 will be, kunin natin yung kay 1.25. Ito, significant yung value nito. 1.25 sa positive values. 1.28944. No? 0.8944. And we know negative 5 will have a value 0.001. Then the probability is 0.8943. Or to letter B, the answer is 89.43%. Okay, punta tayo sa letter C. Letter C, X is greater than or 650, no? 650 grams. Solve natin. Z is equal to 650 minus 500 over 40. This is what? 150, correct? 150 over 40, and this is 3.75. Is that correct? Z is equal to 3.75. And then again, For the positive values, greater than naman. Kasi makikita ninyo hanggang 3.49 lang yan. For z values greater than 3.49, we use 0.9999. And kung greater than yan, dapat yung nandun lang din sa dulo. No? If we illustrate using the curve, yung 0.9999 na yon, ito yung nandito. Pero ito lang yung hinahanap natin. Greater than 650. That is at z equals 3.75. So therefore, sa letter C, the same answer as in letter A, that is 0.01%. Ima-minus natin sa 1 yung 0.9999. Okay? Do you have any question about number 3, class? Hello? May tanong ba?
Po.
None. Okay, take your work. Let's proceed to number 4. Mukhang marami rin yung number 4. Number 4. Based on the records, pero connected ba yung A and B? 100, 140, 100, 140. Yung pangatlo, hindi. Based on the records of the admissions office of a reputable university in Caloocan City, na? Reputable university, na? Alam naman natin kung ano yan. They already have some lawyers now. Okay? The mean score of all college entrance exam takers is 135 with a standard deviation of 23. Assume that the variable is normally distributed. Answer the following. Wait lang. Okay, let's continue. What is the probability that a randomly selected exam taker scored less than 100? Okay, so for number 4, the mean is 135. The standard deviation is 23. Paulit-ulit lang, no? Pag hindi pa ninyo na-master yung pag-solve nito. For part 1, less than 100. Let us solve for z. Z is 100 minus 135. Please be ready with your calculator para hindi na ako magbubukas. Over 23. This is negative 35 over 23. What is the z value? Please. Yes, Danica?
Negative 1.52 po.
Negative 1.52. So, for part 1, if it's negative 1.52, let us not draw the graph anymore or the curve. I believe nai-imagine na ninyo yung illustration. Negative 1.52, but then again, tignan pa rin natin dun sa table because this is necessary. Negative 1.52, 0.643 ba yan? 0.0643. Okay? So, the probability that the randomly selected exam taker scored less than 100 is 0.0643 or 6.43%. Okay? Split ko lang uli yung screen. Mawawala sa ating paningin yung given. Part 2. Pag may question kayo, just raise your hand. Madidinig ko naman yan. So, for part 2, less than ulit. Hindi man lang nag-greater than. Less than 140. So, z is equal to 140 minus 135 over 23. So, this is 5 over 23. What is the answer here? Anyone, please use your calculator. Yes or Wendy?
0.22 po.
0.22. So, less than pa rin yan. Tignan natin yung 0.22 sa table. Positive na tayo, no? 0.22. So, dito, 5871. So, the probability that an exam taker is scored less than 140, this is 0.22, is 0.5871 or 58.71%. Please check your work. Ayan, lapit na tayo matapos sa number 4. Part 3, between 90 and 150. So the score is greater than 90 but less than 150. Then we're going to solve for two z values here. Z sub 1 is 90 minus 135 over 23. And C sub 2 is 150 minus 135 over 23. This is negative 45 over 23. Please, what is the answer here? Yes, Danica?
1.96 po.
1.86. Did I hear it right? Tama ba?
96.
96. Sa susunod, Danica, tuloy mo na. Yes?
0.65, sir.
0.65.
65.
Okay? Kapag iba yung sagot ninyo, please raise your hand.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, yung kinalculate ko po yan, negative 1.96 po yung lumabas.
Correct. This must be negative 1.96 kasi mas maliit yung 90 na. Okay? But the other one, or Wendy, is it correct? 65, tama?
Yes po.
Okay. So the probability that the exam taker is scored between 90 and 150 must be the difference between two areas. Una, 0.65. 7422. 0.7422 minus the other area, negative 1.96. Nasa taas nga pala yung negative. Negative 1.96. Tama ba yan? 0.0250. 0.0250. Will you please subtract? What is the answer here? Hello? 7422, yes? Or Wendy, did you raise your hand? What is the answer here?
Sir, ano po? 0.71 points. 0.7172 po.
Okay. Okay. So that is 71.72%. The probability that an exam taker selected at random is scored between 90 and 150 is 71.72%. Okay, check your work, class. Okay, considering that, letter B tayo, na? Considering that there were 3,000 college entrance exam takers, how many of the exam takers have scores that are less than 100? In letter A, or from letter A, the probability that an exam taker scored less than 100 is 0.0643. That is the percentage. So in here, for part 1, to get the number of exam takers, we're looking for the number of exam takers. We will just multiply, no? We will just multiply the probability 0.0643 by 3,000 exam takers. Will you please use your calculator to multiply this one? What is the answer? Hello? Use your calculator. Calculator. Because we are looking for 6.43% of 3,000. Okay, so what is your answer? Yes, Mingito.
192.9 po, sir.
192.99.
9 po.
Okay, now, these are persons, no? Or people who took the exams. So we do not leave our answer in decimal. Okay, we round this down. The answer is 192 exam takers. Nakuha ba ninyo yung logic dyan? Wala namang 0.9 na tao. Meron bang 0.9 na dami ng tao? Wala, no? So, i-round down natin to the next integer. Kasi yung dami ng tao is integral or integer. Okay? Check your work. Part 2, less than 140. We also have solved for the probability that the exam taker scored less than 140 and we got 58.71. Therefore, to get that number, we will just multiply 0.5871 by the number of exam takers, and that is 3,000. What is your answer? 0.5871. Yes? Answer? Danica, answer mo?
1,761.3 po.
Okay, that's correct. 1,761.3. And then again, round this down, we have 1,761 exam takers. Now, for part 3, we do not have the probability yet. Tama? We do not have the probability yet for part 3, and that is greater than 120. That means for part 3, we will still solve for the probability before we can get the number. So for part 3, x is greater than 120. Let us solve for z. That is 120 minus 135 over 23. Tama ba yung aking mga given? Mean must be 135. Tama. Ayun, tama. 135 and 23. Okay. So, ano sagot natin dito? Negative, yes.
5.22 po.
Ulit. Or Wendy? Negative. Hello?
114.13 po.
Final answer na ba yung binibigay mo? Dito muna tayo. So, 120 minus 135. This is negative 0.65, no? Sige. We'll take that,
Yes po.
Dapat to negative 0.65 lang, na? Sige. Tignan natin yung 140 mamaya. Therefore, the probability here, kunin natin probability. The probability that greater than negative 0.65 is 1 minus. Asa na yung negative 0.65? Negative 0.65. 5 ba yan? Yan. 2578. 0.2578. And what is this one? .7422. Do we have the same answer? 0.7422. So that is 74.22%. But then again, we're looking for the number of exam takers. Therefore, we will multiply 3,000, no? 0.7422 times 3,000. Okay? So that is 2,000, yes. But do you have an answer? Sino yung nagtaas ng kamay? Si Minggito ba? Sir Wendy? Or Wendy, what is your answer?
2,226.6 po.
Okay, very good. So this is 2,226 exam takers. Okay, thank you. Last item, tanggalin natin sa split screen. Pero dalawang item pa rin pala to. The survey results show that the average annual family income of Filipino families was 267,000 pesos. If the annual family income of Filipino families are approximately normally distributed, standard deviation is 64,880, letter A. Wait lang, class. Okay, Shopee. What is the probability that randomly selected Filipino family earns less than 200,000? So letter A tayo, less than 200,000 annually. Na? Mean is 267. Standard deviation is 64,880. So we solve for Z. That will be 200,000 minus 267,000 over 64,880. What is your answer? Yes. Danica?
Negative 1.03 po.
Did I hear it right? Negative 1.03?
Yes po.
Okay. So, we're looking for the probability that the family selected at random earns less than 200,000. So, the probability that Z is less than negative 1.03, let's look at the table. Negative 1.03. 1515 ba yan? Yan. 0.01515. Or that is 15.15%. Okay? Next, letter B. What is the least annual family income of those families in the upper 10%? Let us go to letter B. No? If we're going to illustrate that in the distribution curve, the upper 10%, no? The upper 10% is in here. That is the upper 10%. Okay? If that is upper 10%, then this is 90%, or that is point zero, tama ba? 0.9, I mean, yeah. 0.900. That is the area, doon naman sa left. So, kailangan makuha natin yung value nito. Okay? What is the value for Z at 0.9000? Napin natin sa table. Ginawa rin natin to in the previous lesson. Nasaan yung 0.900? Andun nga tayo sa positive. Let us see what is the closest one to 0.900, so that it's 90%. No? Ito. So, between 0.8997 and 0.9015, na? The one closer to 0.900 is 0.8997. Then the Z value that we're going to use is 1.28. Did you understand that? Naintindihan nyo?
Yes.
Okay, so the Z value that we're going to use is 1.28. And we're looking for the value of X. We know that from the formula X minus mean over standard deviation, we have X is equal to Z times standard deviation plus the mean. Yan yung formula natin. So we will get the value of x as 1.28 times the standard deviation. What is that? 64880. 64880 plus the mean is 267,000. Okay? So what is this amount? That is 350,046.40 pesos. Do we have the same answer? Will you please verify also in your calculator?
Yes po.
Okay. Let us go back to the question. What is the least annual family income of those families in the upper 10%? We're looking for that exact value, yung pinakamababa, no? Yun na yung x. So this is the exact answer. The least annual family income in the upper 10% is 350,046 pesos and 40 centavos. And that is done for exercise number 8. Okay? By the way, no, for the information of everyone, check your work. Do I need to go back to an item so that you can check your work? Wala na? Yes, Pison?
Sir, pwede po pabalik sa number 4 po yung letter B.
Number 4, letter B. Yan. Hindi siya buo. Ayan. Kita mo ba?
Okay.
Yan.
Thank you.
Okay. So, exercise number 8 will already be included in the fourth quarter. Ha, class? Kasi, baka kulangin tayo ng time dahil ang haba nung May 2 to 13 na walang klase. I expect us to finish until hypothesis testing kasi yun ang kailangan ninyo in the study of research. Okay? Follow nyo lang. You can actually have an advanced advanced viewing ng mga lesson dahil lahat naman yan nandun na sa ating YouTube channel, no, kung saan ko nilagay lahat ng lesson. Okay? And also, continued pa rin yung math calendar during that break kasi dapat wala kayong klase. During that break, I will still post. Wala na, okay na ba yung exercises? Wala na ba kayong kailangan balikang number? Habang may mga sinasabi pa ako, it's only 9:56. Huh? Going back, on May 2 to 13, that is 2 weeks, I will still continue to post math calendar problems. You may answer and that will be a bonus to everyone. No? Okay? Saglit lang Pero it will not be counted as yung denominator, no, kapag ka nagko-compute ng grade. Okay? Saglit lang, class. Balik tayo doon sa ating usual na ginagawa. Punta tayo doon sa ating konti na lang. Ba't kumunti? Nawala yung iba. Okay. Much better kasi 6 lang. That there will be greater chances. No? Ano ba yan? Umalis yung iba. Sayang naman. Hindi pa tayo tapos. 9:57 pa lang. Okay. Ulit. Gabriel. Sino yung kasunod? Bingito. Sunod. Bingito. Pison. Ay. Pison. Sunod. San Diego. Sunod. Kuha. Ito lang talaga. Nawala yung iba. Ang dami nyo kanina. Aning. Okay na. Okay na. Tingnan natin to. Kuha tayo ng 3. Oh, ba't 5 lang? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kuha tayo 3. Spin. That's kuha. Next. Ulit. Okay. Minggita. Isa pa. Gabriel. Okay. Actually, anyway, there's just 5 of you. Thank you for participating. I will give it to lahat na lang kayong 5. Na? Sino ba yung dalawa pa? Si Pison at saka sino hindi nakuha dito? San Diego. Okay, thank you for attending the online class. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you po,
Thank
sir.
you po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.